Yes, welcome to Legal Avenue. Yeah, it is your Counsel Ram. Remember, this show is powered by Turacom Media, and every week we always have a guest. And today's guest, there we have Counsel, prominent counsel within Mbale Eastern region, and we are going to be discussing some few issues, or what we call a profiling interview with him. So without wasting any other time, but before we even jump into that, I want to request you please subscribe to our YouTube channel, that is Legal Avenue. Also stroke Turacom Media. Also you can visit our pages, that is Facebook page, that is Turacom Media. You can also visit us at our Twitter handle, that is Legal Avenue. And you can always have more and more when it comes to this show. So before we do that, let us jump into our guest today. He's going to introduce himself and find out more about him. Counsel, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I'm also happy to be here.
Okay. So Counsel, we would love you to introduce to our viewers, those ones who could not be knowing you, at least to let you know about you as a counsel.
Well, your guest today is Nappa Geoffrey.
Yes.
Nappa Geoffrey is an advocate who the common people call lawyer, pleader. Yes, I'm an advocate of the High Court. This means that I have the audience in all courts from grade 2 to the Supreme Court. That's what it means. I currently work with the firm. It is Nappa and Company Advocates. But previously, before that, I have been working with the Mbale and Co-Advocates. And that's where most people have known me from. Yes, that is me in brief.
Okay, that is now, now the person we are hosting today on our show, Legal Avenue. I want to remind you, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, that is Legal Avenue. So Counsel, we wanted to know, what is your academic background, the academic journey that you've gone through to reach at this point?
Okay. During my time, while growing up, very few people went through nursery. I am one of the few privileged people who went through nursery school, and that was in Tororo. Very good nursery school by then. It was called Salvation Army. I am not sure that it's still existing, but that was the school by then. How we talk about it, Kokonjero in Mbale here now. That was the school in Tororo. From there, I went to another old school. That was, it is called Rockview Primary School. Those who have been in Tororo know it, established in 1945. I was there for 7 years. I think reason because my mother was a teacher there, so that's the reason as why maybe I studied there for many years.
Had this experience of going to another school?
No, I've been lucky that every level has been in one school. So primary, and I was lucky I studied there for only 7 years. That was primary school, Rockview. From there, I went to Navmali High School, which is here in Mbale. I pursued their senior 1 to senior 4. And for the OBs, I was in Banks House. Yes. From there, I went to a single school. That is Kira College Boutique in Jinja, where I pursued my A-level for the 2 years. And I was in arts class. For the OBs, I was in Chavazinga House. Yes, that is my academic. Then from there, I did go to IU, that is main campus, where I pursued my LLB. At first, I was a bit disappointed. I felt I'd gone to the wrong university. First, I was the only old student at IU from Kira College. The whole university, imagine from all the courses, you alone on a law. Yes. I was the only student from Akira College, and I felt I was in the wrong place.
You felt like you're misplaced.
I felt I was misplaced.
Okay.
But as time went on, I discovered I would also get to the destination. And the reason that's why I found myself in IU, UCU was a bit costly. Looking at the background where I was coming from, I think I would not have managed, my parents would not have managed. That's why I ended at IU, but I don't regret. From there, by then, when we were still studying, the pre-entries were still there, and by the grace of God, I went through outright. joined the bar course, studied, and went out immediately. Yes, so that is me.
Okay. So, Counsel, depending on what you've said, that academic journey, at what point did you realize that it is the law course that you wanted to pursue, or you wanted to become a lawyer? What stage?
I think the stage came in senior 4. While studying from senior 1 to senior 4, that is the time when the government was so much into sciences. They kept on praising sciences. My parents also kept on encouraging us to do sciences, to study hard sciences. So as a child, I grew up knowing that I should be a doctor. Unfortunately, the key subjects, that is chemistry and biology, which would have helped me to become a doctor, I think were not friendly. I was not friendly to them. I did my best, but it didn't work out. But I was performing very well in the arts, that is history mainly, and CRE. So that's when I said I should go and do arts. And after joining the arts class, I discovered that the only course I should do is law. That's when I discovered that I think I should do law. And it's because I had a cousin who was a state attorney by then, and I was inspired. I felt law would be the best thing for me in the arts world.
Now that you crossing from senior 6, now joining the university, just like you have given us a little background about your experience in IU, can you give us in detail how you experienced your stay within Islamic University in Uganda, since it is an Islamic university? So how was your experience?
Well, basically, for those who have gone through, who have had children at IUIU, or who have basically who have experienced the IUIU itself, IUIU is a world, is a country within a country. It's a very small place which has its own policies. At first, it was very difficult because when we were leaving high school, remember we were in a boys' school, and the few times we met with girls, that was at Sosh. We used to have, should I call it a picnic? We had like 2 functions at Butiki, but major one was Sosh, where they'll bring for us girls from single schools, and we socialized. So we felt, I personally felt that, okay, as we were there, we used to talk that what we go to campus, definitely we are going to mingle with these ladies. And those who used to come from Makere would tell us that there's, I think Makere is called, is it benching? So we felt we were going to have that time of interacting with ladies. Unfortunately, at IUIU, they tell you cannot even touch a girl's hand. They tell you cannot talk to a lady when you're one-on-one. You must have a third party. So as time went on, we mastered how to handle things. You'd have your bestie who would come and sit as a third party. Either is listening to music through earphones, and if at all it's a manifesto, you pour a manifesto out, whereas there's a third party there. You behave like you're discussing, and you handle all that. Then also, obviously, we used to go out. At IUI, it was illegal for you to go out, but since the boys were allowed to move out, we would move out after reading books at around 11, and we wouldn't go back. Since we had friends who were sleeping in hostels around, we'd go and sleep out. I avoided going with alcohol, going while we drank at university. Avoided anything related to malpractice, because at IUIU examination malpractice is a serious issue. Basically, that's how I handled it, by being simple. Being a simple student, that's how I managed IUIU. Otherwise, those who were not simple did not succeed. Yes.
So how about with the leadership and the faculty? Were you involved in such scenarios?
Yes, I think I was in leadership from almost year 2. At the faculty level, and at one point I was the treasurer, I was assistant general secretary, and the climax was when I was the general secretary. I had wanted to become the LSS president, and I think I had the support. However, it involved the money issues, and I felt I didn't have the money that would make me succeed in that office. So I decided to decline for my friend, and I came for the lower position.
Okay. I remember when you were still at the university, it was during that time when there were pre-entry exams and going to the back course. It was such this experience that even most of the people got scared. So how did you handle that hurdle of crossing to LDC with this pre-entry thing that was there during that time?
First of all, before I even answer that question, I must tell you that during that time when pre-entries were in, those are some of the reasons I felt I was at the wrong university. Because when I just joined the year one, I was told that about 4 students had gone to LDC. In my year one, about 5 people went. Now I have friends, the magistrates, who are part of that lot. In my year 2, it came to 7.
That is from Islamic
That
University?
is Islamic University.
Yes.
In my year 3, it worsened. That was now the worst. Only 2 students went.
2 students.
And I'm happy to have worked with those 2 students. I mean, those 2 colleagues.
Okay.
We work in the same firm at Mbale and Company Advocates. Okay. Those are the only 2 students who went now. We kept wondering, is it now just declining? In fact, now that's when we got scared and felt maybe we should forget about LDC. But thank God, in our year, 9 students out of about 50 or 60 students made it to the back course. And out of that were 7 gentlemen and 2 ladies. And I'm lucky to have been part of the 7 gentlemen who went to the back course. While there, we found a lot of issues. Because remember, you only 7, and Makerere has brought almost the whole class. UC is having almost the whole class, and you are only a few people. So our preparations, how we managed to get there, is the fact that we had concentrated. We had concentrated in our lower classes. That was year 1 and year 2. We paid a lot of attention to the books, and that's where everything comes, because that's when you're studying the substantive law, which has the principles. In year 4 and year 3, you're basically studying procedure. Procedure here will mean you're studying things that are helping you execute this law. For example, contract, you need the civil procedure to help you handle the contract law, the tort law. So we understood this law and we used to have discussions. So this helped us because we kept on having discussions every evening, and also having good company was also very important. Good company, because through that good company, we're able to form variable discussion groups, which yielded results. I can assure you that most of the people who I used to discuss with, I think now all of them are now advocates. Most of them are done. Yes, that played a big role. So the discussion groups played a bigger role. Yes. And also lastly is the fact that the interaction with these other senior colleagues who had gone there prior. It was also very important because we kept on discussing with them. They kept on telling us how we should prepare, how we should read. That helped us a lot in preparation for the back course.
So now, how do you see the thing of scrapping off the pre-entry? How do you see it? Was it really good, or it was bad, scrapping it off?
Honestly speaking, when we were at university, when I was like in year 3, that thing had already started. That no, pre-entry should be scrapped. Pre-entry should be scrapped. In fact, we had a team of students that petitioned, I think, is it State House? Parliament. They petitioned Parliament, and they wanted these things scrapped off. A team of Uganda Law Society lawyer, legal representatives by then came to the university and talked about the same thing. But me as a person, I have always, from the inception, been against it because I have a feeling it lowers the quality of the profession. When we were studying and pre-entries were on, it kind of made students very serious. But right now as we speak, a student, as long as he joins the LLB and he graduates, I think according to right now the practice or the policies there, he's entitled to join the course. What only limits him or her is just because there are numbers that have to be taken, but they will be admitted. Whether they're admitted after 3 years, but they'll be admitted. For us, people who do pre-entries, I have people who did pre-entries. From the time I was in year 1, I finished the course, and they had not yet entered the course. I think it lowers a bit the quality. Yes, because even the number of lawyers are becoming very many. People come out, they don't know principles. I've interacted with these guys, and it's a bit different. It's a bit different.
So what does it mean really to be at LDC? How is that experience? Because outside there, those ones who have not yet joined, they have these conceptions about LDC. Some are misconceptions, some are good conceptions, but what does it mean? How is it to be at LDC?
Like the director, Mr. Thembi, recently said that LDC is not for everyone. It's for the people, those serious hunters who have come to hunt for the lion.
Yes.
I will paraphrase a bit because I don't remember the exact words, but it relates to that. Yes. But right now, you find even people who are supposed to be cooking, like you said, those who are supposed to be cooking the meat, also they are hunting for the animal. So it is a bit hard. LDC, the experience there is that it needs a lot of concentration. To the aspiring young lawyers, because anyone who graduates from university is a lawyer. Even those who are not yet lawyers, they should be very ready to concentrate at LDC. And LDC goes beyond the personal reading. From the experience I have from there, these things of morning prep and so on, those things don't work so much at LDC. What works at LDC is mostly discussions, having the notes well organized, following the weekly course list for the workshop that you are given. You'll be done with LDC because you are following what they want. It goes beyond reading and understanding, because the reading and understanding was done at the university. Here they're teaching you practice, and practice means interacting with others. Yes. The other advice I would give to the experience that is there is that LDC will not accommodate a person who wants to be two-sided. That you want to continue to work as you're studying. Trust me, your chances of leaving LDC are so minimal, because they pack you. If you interact with those who have been there, who are there, they will tell you that there it is from day 1 up to day last, you're busy. You're given work on Friday, it ends on Friday. That same Friday they introduce work for the next week. Over the weekend, the whole Saturday and Sunday, you are discussing. So that is the routine. That's the routine. So that's the experience there. It's a bit complex.
So in this legal field, like any other person or any other profession, people always have these people they look up to. Whom do you look up to in this legal field?
When I was studying the course, the people I would look at, the first was the retired Justice Kanyihamba. I think I felt he did something great in the legal field in Uganda. Right now, people like Medad, Senior Counsel, Medad Rubega Segona, Honorable, I think are people I look up to. I was with him, he was our lead counsel during the petition of Connie Galuwango, and you'd really see a very superb lawyer. My former boss, Honorable Yusuf Mutemboli, is one of those great lawyers I look up to, because even his fellow peers still look up to him also. So imagine such a person. Those are people I look up to, and many others, but those have convinced me. Yes.
So basing on these people you look up to, what are those qualities that a successful lawyer should have, or a successful advocate should have, basing on these people you look up to, and even according to you, what are those qualities that make a good lawyer or an advocate?
What makes a good lawyer? The narrative to the young people now might have changed. They may be looking at other things. That the one who has a lot of money, the one who looks dressily smart. I mean, smartly dressed. All those things there. But I think a good lawyer, to me, is a person who will listen to the litigant, or a person is concerned, and advise them properly. Yes, according to what a lawyer is supposed to do. Because the general role of a lawyer is to advise. Like we are counsel, we're supposed to counsel those people there. Tell them you don't have a course of action here, or this is the course of action we should take. But now, if you can do that, tell a person boldly that you don't have any claim here. I think that will make you, that's a good lawyer. Just that sometimes we are faced with challenges that when someone tells the litigant the truth, they start saying this is a fake lawyer. They
don't want to hear the truth.
They don't want to hear the truth. And when you lie to them, they will still say this lawyer is fake. So that's the dilemma lawyers are in. But I think what I said previously is what a good lawyer is, in my opinion.
Okay. So the law keeps on evolving, there are new precedents already set. So how would you keep up with these changes of the law as a counsel?
As counsel, definitely from day one, I put it in my mind that I have to do extensive reading. So one of the ways I've kept myself at par with the changes in the legal profession is continuous reading. And we are very lucky that we are living in a very simple era where, for example, Justice Sekana will deliver a decision at 11, and at 11, even at the same 11 o'clock, you have the decision on your phone.
Okay.
And we are even lucky that some other colleagues take time to read and even break down. So even before you go into reading the whole case, you have already gotten a picture of what the case is about. So continuous reading. The other is that we as young lawyers at Mbale have come up with our group of interaction association. And through that, one of the things we do is interacting, asking ourselves about the new cases that come up. Whenever there's a new case, we discuss. Those who are pro and those who are against it, we discuss and give reasons as why you think the decision is either wrong in their opinion or it is right in their opinion. For the lawyers, they will understand that a lawyer, according to the Advocates Act, even after you graduating, enrolling, becoming an advocate, you are required within the year to have what we call 20 points, CLE points, to enable you renew your certificate of practicing law. So through the continuous attaining of those legal education, we are able to know what is changing. For example, in 2019, the Uganda Law Society organized the CLE, which basically was discussing the civil procedure rules amendments of 2019. And many people had not understood what were summons for directions. And those people extensively discussed it. And right now, almost now, everyone understands what summons for directions talk about and those other amendments. So those are the few ways I keep myself at par with the changes.
So now we are living in a society of many people who are informed. What are those pressing legal issues that mostly the society faces when it comes to, let me say, the legal issues that the society faces, those pressing legal issues?
Speaking for this region, the major pressing issue here is land. Land is the major pressing issue. If you go to the High Court of either Tororo, here in Mbale, the major issues there you find is land. This is my land, customary land. In town here, we have issues of expropriated properties. These are properties that were left by the Indians, for those who may not understand the word Indians. And the government took over. So some of the Indians came back, others did not come back and start claiming. So the major issue here is about land. Then we also have the issues of family. Many men are deserting their roles of taking care of their children. So that is also coming up. There are very many young mothers who give birth to children, and the fathers do not want to take care of those children. So those are some of the challenges we have. We also have challenges of still related family, where parents are divorced. What happens to those children in terms of who should have custody of those children? Yes, we are having those challenges also numerous here, and a few transactions, commercial transactions here.
Yes, I would love to remind you, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, that is Legal Avenue, on YouTube, Facebook, like our page, that is Turako Media, Twitter, it is Legal Avenue 256, Instagram, and every other social media. Yes, we are still with Counsel Nappa, yes, and we're still getting to know more about him and the things he has gotten involved in as a counsel. So counsel, in every career of a lawyer, there are those notable cases that somebody works on. Though there are not some cases are not allowed to be discussed, but would love to know what are those notable cases you have worked on and the impact they have had in the society.
I've handled several notable cases, yes, but I'll talk about two. Basically one.
Okay.
That is the case of Honorable Lydia Wanyoto, okay, and Honorable Koniga Luwango, okay, where I was on the team that was handling for Koniga Luwango. Okay. I think that case set a lot in the elections, okay, matters, okay, because if one gets a chance of reading the judgment, you will discuss very many things there. For example, can an officer of the electoral commission, for example, those polling agents, okay, can they swear affidavits for a party, okay, to getting approved? Okay. Very many principles. I may have forgotten some, but very many things are in that case, okay, and I believe they will affect. They will have a determination in many of the appeals, in many of the petitions in 2026, okay, because it set up some new issues which decision was not overturned. Okay. So it means those principles are still with us until when the Court of Appeal will overturn them. Okay. Yes.
Yes, challenges that usually face as a counsel.
Yes, like I was saying earlier, some of the challenges that I do face as a person, threats. They are matters that you handle, and they are very contentious, and the parties on the other side keep threatening you. Okay. This is not your father's case. All those things there. So there are those threats. Okay. Sometimes they even go beyond normal threats, and they threaten your life. So those are some of the challenges. The other challenge is sometimes intimidation. Okay. Some of the senior colleagues,
yes, in the field,
always want to intimidate the young counsel, okay, what I would call the junior colleagues. But that one, over the time we have overcome it. We have, okay, now become colleagues. Okay. As long as you know your case, that is all you need. Okay. The other challenge you may face is sometimes what I would call conflict. Okay. Because remember, anyone can be sued at any time. Okay. There are scenarios whereby someone related to you or a friend to your parent, and you feel sometimes you can't handle that case. Okay. Those are some of the challenges. So I feel in such a situation, you feel maybe a colleague should handle that case. Okay. Then the other challenge is sometimes litigant want so much free service. Okay. They believe when they just sometimes they go with you to court and they say, but counsel, you in Uganda or you get a bit from you only spoke few words, but they don't know the few words you've spoken. Yeah, they hold has impacted. It has impacted on their case in a certain way. Yes.
So they want these people who speak a lot.
Then the last challenge I'll give you is on the perspective of a junior counsel. We as lawyers have a practice that whenever you appear with a colleague in court on the adversary, if he's senior to you, he must introduce everyone who is appearing in that case and is junior to him. What you do is to give him a list of people who are present, the lawyers and parties, and it is his work to introduce. Okay. But we have faced challenges where a party feels that their counsel should always speak in court,
Okay.
sometimes you just go to mention. Mention means that you just tell in court the position of the file. And if someone is introducing, he has to inform court on the position. So the challenge you face there is that they would go and report you to your boss that the boy you gave us is not helping us. The boy doesn't talk in court, does not talk. Now when you explain to your boss what was on ground, they appreciate and they say, no, we shall talk to them and I understand.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Counsel, there is, how do you want to be remembered in this legal field within maybe Eastern region or all over Uganda? How do you want to be remembered as a counsel?
I think I would want to be known as a person of integrity.
Okay.
Yes, I have tried, as for now I've tried. I don't want to be compromised, and I always want to avoid that.
Okay.
The good thing, I have grown up seeing some lawyers, and my relatives have always told me that if you want to die like so and so, please do like he did.
Okay.
Be double standard. So I want to be known as a person of integrity.
Okay.
I want to be known as a person who's not all over money, not all on about money. There are matters that you don't need to charge a client. There are matters you don't need to charge. There are some litigants you look at and you feel you should offer the service.
Yes.
In fact, even us in the Uganda Law Society, we have that pro bono.
Okay.
Yes, it is allowed. You offer free service if you see where it deserves.
Okay.
That's how I want to be known.
Okay. So, any advice you would give out to people who are inspiring to be lawyers, those ones who have what LDC, what advice can you give to them?
The advice I would give to the aspiring lawyers is that they should eliminate the thinking that law is about money.
Okay.
They should eliminate that thing. The moment they eliminate that feeling, they will prosper.
Okay.
What has hit most of the advocates is the fact that they want to do very many things within a short time and sometimes in the wrong way.
Okay.
You want to drive a Mercedes, you want to build a flat, you want all this, you want to do it within the first 2 years.
Yes.
I think that's not possible. If you're doing the right thing, it is very not possible.
Okay.
So I think aspiring lawyers should not think of money so much.
Okay.
They should think of learning.
Okay.
When an advocate offers you some space in their law firm, please go and learn. Don't look at money. When you're given some little tip, take it in good faith.
Okay.
But what you should look at is learning. Because for me, what I learned from my senior colleagues, you can't value it in money.
Okay.
Because what you're learning, it's going to stay with you,
Mm.
and you're going to use it for the rest of your life if you're still alive and still within the profession.
Okay.
So they should concentrate on that. They should also concentrate on their books.
Okay.
They should pay time to their books.
Okay.
They should be able to mix a lot of things with their books. If you're helping a senior colleague in their chambers while you're still studying, please be mindful that you are still a student.
Okay.
Don't start thinking that you're an advocate. For those who are almost getting done with LDC, who are done with LDC, they should desist from the practice of holding out. Holding out, to the people may not understand it, is a scenario where a person who is not yet an advocate can appear in court to represent a litigant. You are holding out to be an advocate when you're not an advocate. They should not allow to be tempted. That thing can drain your career. Yes, it can drain your career. The other is they should do extensive research. Always keep to date with the changes in the law. You'll be embarrassed when you go to court with your old law and I see many people still talking about the Money Lenders Act. Money Lenders Act. Those things stopped working in 2016. And you cannot know. Even some, you find it being listed as list of authorities, Money Lenders Act. So we should do extensive reading as junior lawyers. Let us also do consultation. Let's consult from the senior people who are, if you're near one, consult from the YAFO. If you are in year 4, consult from people who are at the back course. If you are at the back course, consult from people who are in the field. To the junior young lawyers like me, let's consult from our senior colleagues. We shall learn. I was meant to understand why the aspect of seniority applies so much in court when they are calling matters. That whenever there's a senior lawyer, they will first call their, even if they have 10 files, they will have to call for their files, unless if they have allowed you to your matter to be called. So the reason for that is that we, the junior or the junior counsel, should learn from what the seniors are doing. I'm told that's the rationale behind senior counsel's file to be called. So that's why we should keep on asking. Me, I believe I am slightly better than a person who's at the back course and university, because there are some things that I know that they may not know. And I'm into the practice itself. I know how the game applies. You'll be shocked that when you come into the field, you will look like you have never studied law. When everything is new in your life, you come here and you don't understand anything. They tell you to draft something you can't even draft. And now these lawyers who are studying, we call them Zoom lawyers. It may even be more dangerous for them.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we are still with Counsel and we are concluding our show. So I would love to ask Counsel to give his last remarks to the viewers of Legal Avenue, and maybe some other things we'd love to tell our viewers.
Before I was contacted by Counsel Ramadan? Ram, yes, Ram. I had always followed him on those other. He used to do some shows while I think was still studying at university, and also partnering I think with IUFM.
Yes, yes.
But recently, when I saw something relating to law,
yes,
I thought this was wise, since he's also a lawyer like us.
Yes.
I think this would be helpful.
Okay.
Yes, so I would implore that you continue with this.
Okay.
And people should subscribe to Legal Avenue. Yes, subscribe to the Legal Avenue.
Yes. Very, very grateful. And of course, like he has said, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, that is Legal Avenue, and we shall keep on hosting, such prominent people, such resourceful people within the legal profession, so that at least we share knowledge, you get to know about them, and you keep on, improving your legal profession. So without wasting any time, I want to say thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye-bye.